Hi, this video will provide a comprehensive guide to creating an OSAP profile and submitting a full-time OSAP application. If you are starting a new program, you don't have to wait for an offer of admission to start the OSAP application process. If you are continuing a program, you'll need to reapply each academic year. Feel free to use the chapters to skip ahead to the sections that are applicable to you. Before you get started, here's what you'll need: your SIN number, your tax return from the previous taxable year, and if applicable, your parents' or spouse's tax return from the previous taxable year, and your program name and start date for the upcoming term. Just a reminder, OSAP will not cover your $250 tuition deposit. Your first step will be creating an OSAP account profile. Let's get started. Navigate to osap.ca and select Register. Ensure that you review the new user registration agreement closely. Once you reach the bottom of the page, check the consent checkbox and hit Next. If you applied to your program at Humber through ontariocolleges.ca, your information from that application can be linked to your OSAP application. This will autofill parts of your OSAP application for your convenience and will not require manual input. To link your accounts, select Yes, and check the box next to Ontario Colleges. Provide your Ontario Colleges account number and your date of birth and click Link. Please note, this step is optional. If you want to proceed without auto-populating information, you can select No and click Next. You will need to provide your basic personal information, including your first and last name, date of birth, gender, and social insurance number. You may include your Ontario education number here as well. However, it is not mandatory. Carefully fill out this page because the information you provide will be verified with the Social Insurance Registry to confirm your identity. After you finish filling out your personal information, create a password that meets the required criteria and choose your challenge questions. Your challenge questions are used if you forget your username or password, so keep a record of them. To protect your account, never share your password or challenge questions with others. Click Submit to continue. Once you have completed this step, you will be provided with an OSAP access number. This number will serve as your username when logging in to your OSAP account. Record this number and keep it safe. Don't share it with anyone. Click Next. On the next page, you will be asked to set your communication preferences and provide your contact information, including your email address and mailing address. Although there is an option to have your forms mailed, electronic communication is recommended, so you receive information about your OSAP application as soon as possible. At the bottom of the contact information page, you may choose to give a family member, friend, or someone close to you access to your information. If you choose to do this, make sure it is a trusted family member or friend. When you are finished, hit Submit. A validation email will be sent to the email address you provided. Once you receive the email, click on the link to confirm your email address. This confirms to OSAP that the correct email is assigned to you, so they can send updates about your application or help you access your account if you forget your OSAP application number or password. Hit Next. Now that your OSAP profile is set up, we can start working on completing your application. This video covers how to apply for OSAP with a full-time course load. Although applications for part-time studies and micro-credential programs are options, your application type will depend on your course load during your OSAP study period, and you can use the help article for more information on what is considered a full-time course load. To continue, select Apply for Full-Time. Click Start a new application. If you have previously completed an OSAP application or have an application in progress, you will be able to view it on this page and will have the option to finish the application you already started. On this page, choose when your classes will start for the current academic year and click Next. Carefully review your information on this page to ensure it is correct. Continue by clicking Next. Now you will be prompted to provide additional information such as your status in Canada, your Indigenous status, if you self-identify as a student with a disability, or if you are ever in the permanent care of the Children's Aid Society or a family services agency. Please ensure you carefully read and answer each question. You will also be asked for the last date you attended high school full-time as a teenage student. If you attended high school as a mature student, for example, to upgrade courses, you must still use the last date you attended high school full-time as a teenager. Once you complete this section, click Submit to continue. Before moving on to the next step, you will be asked to complete a short, mandatory info session that will explain how the OSAP program works. Continue by clicking Next. After the info session section is completed, you will be asked to read and agree to the application agreement. This explains the terms and conditions of any OSAP funding you receive, so read carefully before consenting. Once you are done, select the checkbox and hit Next to proceed. Now you can begin your application. Step 1 is providing your school and program information. Select Humber from the drop-down menu and search for your program. If you cannot find what you're looking for, you can manually input this information. Click Next. If you manually input your program, you will be given a list of similar programs that may be a potential match. If you still do not see the correct program, you can continue with the manual information you entered. Hit Next. To complete Step 1, verify the course load you believe you will be taking and whether you will be taking your courses online through correspondence or distance education. Click the link to the help article for more information on what is considered a full-time course load. Click Next to continue. On the next page, you will be asked questions that will help determine your student status for OSAP purposes. Here you will be asked if it has been 4 or 6 years since you last attended high school full-time as a teenage student. If this information does not match the high school end date you previously provided, you may be asked to give more information. It is important to note, you must have lived in Ontario for 12 consecutive months in a row to receive funding. Time spent as a post-secondary student does not count towards this total. If you recently arrived in Canada through a province or territory other than Ontario, you may need to complete a student application in that jurisdiction. Click Next to continue. If you have ever filed for bankruptcy or a similar event, you must declare this information on this page. If you are not sure if your situation would apply, click the link to learn more. Click Next. For Step 2, you will need to provide your income information from the most recent taxable year. For example, if your studies started in September 2025, you would need to provide income information for 2024. Fill out the box with the total gross income listed on line 15,000 of your tax return. If you have not filed your taxes from the previous year, it is recommended you do so as soon as possible. While you work on filing your taxes, you can proceed with an estimated figure, but this information will be verified by the Canada Revenue Agency. If you have earned non-taxable or foreign income in the previous year, please self-declare that information as well. For more information on what is considered non-taxable, click the link. Please enter these amounts in dollars only. Do not include cents, commas, or periods. If you have been or will be receiving funding from another government source before or during your OSAP study period, you must declare that information here. If you are expecting a scholarship or bursary funding from a third-party agency or company, please enter the estimated amount. You do not have to enter any scholarship or bursary funding awarded to you by Humber on this page. Humber will give the ministry that information at a later date. If you are planning to work during your study period and expect to earn over $5,600 for one semester, or $11,200 for 2 semesters, you must provide the total estimated income here. You are also expected to self-declare any assets you or your spouse will hold as of the start of your OSAP study period. Click the link for more info. Continue by clicking Next. In Step 3, you will be asked to provide information about your parents, dependent children, and/or your spouse, if applicable. If you previously indicated that it has been less than 6 years since you attended high school on a full-time basis, then you will be asked to provide your parents' information as part of your OSAP application. This parental information is required unless you can provide documentation of estrangement from your parents. Parental information that must be provided includes name, date of birth, marital status, social insurance number, and taxable information from the previous year. It is helpful to have your parents' notice of assessment from the most recent taxable year available when completing this section. If your parent has filed their taxes and not received this document, they can contact the Canada Revenue Agency for assistance. Please note, the Canada Revenue Agency will verify the income information of your parent in each section, so please ensure the figures are accurate based on the previous tax year. Your parent must also self-declare any non-taxable or foreign income earned in the previous year. For more information on what to include, click the link. If your parents are separated, widowed, or divorced and not remarried, then you will only be expected to provide information for the parent with custody or whose household you last lived in. Make sure to review the details of whose information is needed based on their marital status. Finally, you will be asked for the number of dependent children your parents have, including yourself, and how many of them will be taking post-secondary studies in the academic year you are applying for. Click Next to continue. If you are a student with dependent children, you will be asked to provide the full name, date of birth, and childcare costs for each child living with you during your OSAP study period. If you do not have any children, enter 0. Click Next to continue. If you are a married or common law status student, you will need to input your spouse's name, date of birth, social insurance number, and taxable income information from the previous year, as well as the date of your marriage or common law status. Please note, the date of your marriage should match the date on your marriage certificate. You will also be asked to verify your spouse's residency status and whether they will be receiving government funding from another source during your OSAP study period. Finally, add your spouse's income information. Keep in mind that it will be verified by the Canada Revenue Agency, so make sure it matches the amount on their tax return. Please ensure you only input the dollar value and not cents. You will also be asked to declare any foreign or non-taxable income earned by your spouse here. Click Next. After you submit your application, you will not be able to make any changes or edit your information, so carefully review each page before you submit to verify the information is accurate. If any changes are needed, you will need to contact a financial aid advisor and provide supporting documentation. Click Submit to continue. Now that you have submitted your information, you can see a general estimate of the OSAP funding you can expect to receive as part of the upcoming academic year, with a basic breakdown of how it will be divided between both grants and loans. Please note, this figure is only an estimate, and it may change when the final costs are provided by Humber and your application is assessed. Click Next to continue. Finally, make sure you understand the difference between a grant and a loan. A grant is publicly funded money you keep and do not need to repay, while a loan is publicly funded money you are borrowing and will eventually need to pay back. The loan portion of your OSAP money is optional, and you do not need to accept it. Click the link to learn more about your responsibilities when you accept the loan. Congratulations! You now know how to create your OSAP account and submit your application for funding. Remember to take these steps and apply for OSAP as soon as possible to avoid processing delays and help you register for the required course load on time. If you have any other questions, find out how to connect with our financial aid team at humber.ca/contact-humber. We look forward to supporting your studies at Humber.